That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Comic Reviews. I'm part 2, and I've got a pretty small amount of books to talk about today, and one trade, so we'll get right into it. Let's start off with this book that I just picked up off the stands, Renato Jones The 1%. I feel like I read a wet dream that Alex had. Alex, the superhero enthusiast. That is what this is. It is like just the most anti-capitalist thing I think I've read in quite some time. So that's kind of like it's a really fun, entertaining thing. There's a quote here by Warren Ellis, of all people, on the front. A sort of hallucinatory rage pop Punisher from Occupy. It's gorgeous and also demented. Like, you get to the end here, and there's just all kinds of stuff. It's got a cool little preview. But also, the guy put a letters page in. One thing I really like about this, on the cover, it says, created, written, drawn, colored, and owned in big red letters, by Karen Kyle Andrews. I don't know how to say your name. It's good though. Yeah, so you get to the end here and we got letters pages that are all about, are just mainly from people that he knows already because, it's the first issue. Just congratulating him on getting this out and saying how much they love it. But there's a letter from Warren Ellis. Dear Care, so I read your book and it's fucking demented. I have a question for your letter column. Did you seriously watch the coverage of Occupy Wall Street all those years ago and think, Jesus, there's a seriously unhinged action comic here? Also, I think you should probably be spades that your genes cannot pervert future generations of life on Earth. I really liked your comic, but it's fucking demented and you should know that. Never write to me again. Yours faithfully, Warren Ellis. And then there's the response. As in life, the last words belong to the master of mayhem. If one can make Warren Ellis call you demented, you must be doing something very, very wrong. But how could something wrong feel so right? Find out in the next issue. We're back in 30. So this one I'm not actually going to describe the plot at all. I'm just going to tell you go pick it up. It's really interesting. Like, I kind of saw where some of the stuff was coming from plot-wise, but it's so well told that I just don't care. The art is fantastic, and there is a major twist in here that I did not see coming. Like, it seemed like it was going to be a really down-to-earth kind of gritty crime story, but it takes a major turn and gets really fascinating, and it's playing with a lot of tropes of comic books too, which I really, really like. So there's a meta commentary in it. The one thing I will spoil, and this gets back to the owned by thing. There are ads in this comic book, but they're for the comic book, and they're continuing on the commentary of capitalism and the machine, as it were. Comic books for the super rich. Renato Jones, Justice Deluxe. And there are ads like that throughout the book. Luxury, you'll pay for it. Renato Jones. It's just, it's these like really classy looking ads that are all about just the craziness of super richness, and that's a lot of what's going on in this. So just freaking cool. And also, his gun is fucking awesome. Look at that. It's like a knife gun. It's fucking awesome. I love it. And the costume to do like kind of a suit and tie looking thing is really cool. The rich call this guy the freelancer because no one can figure out who he works for. And some of the color shifts in this are just brilliant. Man, this is good shit. This is really, really cool. Yeah. I really enjoyed this. And I highly recommend it to people. It's scary. It's such an ugly fucking book. And I mean that in a good way. It's just, it looks hideous. The art is, I mean this in the best possible way. The art looks like something Frank Miller would do. Back in, good Frank Miller days. When it was just like the look of Dark Knight Returns reflected a lot of what it was talking about. And it's a lot of that going on here. It's very sketchy, muddy, dark, ugly looking art that just really grabs you. And there's some gore and brutality in here that's only on par with stuff I've seen in Spawn, but this earns that brutality. It's not just shocking and brutal to be shocking and brutal. It's about the brutality. It's about the shock. There's stuff going on behind that, and it earns that. Like I said, I'm sorry for being so vague, but I'm really trying not to do spoilers, so I hope you will just take my word for it. Some fucking gorgeous splash pages. Little confused at the scene on the end. Not sure where that's going, or maybe I just didn't read the comic carefully enough. But no, there's some really profound stuff in this. Next issue, Masquerade. Orgies, out-trumps, and oligarchy, oh my. It's really aware of what's going on here, and I quite like that. And there's a neat little preview of the next issue, just like, I'm not sure if it's a full 2-page spread of the next issue, or if it's like a series of panels, and he just worked them for this little spread. I like it though. And yeah, another ad page. Like, it looks like just, a kind of risque ad, but restitution, it's not revenge. Renato Jones, Justice Delixor. Yeah, really cool book. Thick as hell, so you're definitely getting your money's worth for $4, and you're supporting like the artist himself, so buying this means you get more, and I really appreciate that. Absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna see if I can write a letter to get in this, because I just really enjoyed this shit. Cool, let's go ahead and move on to The Legend of Wonder Woman number 6. This story continues to get better and better as it goes on. I just am in love with this version of Wonder Woman right now. A lot of the stuff just works. There's a bit of meta commentary in here. Again, I'm not going to explain the story of this one just because it's all one story. It's all kind of evolving. This will probably be something I pick up the trade for because I think it's just a really strong Wonder Woman story on its own so far. Like I said, I'm a little iffy on the way in which they're using the gods again, but that's, it's not something I really hold against this book in particular, just more generally. All of Wonder Woman seems to get the gods kind of wrong, and that always bothers me. But anyway, Etta Candy's great in this too. There's some really cool art that you get in this one too. Like, I love this panel as Diana flies for the first time. That panel looks fantastic. And then there's another one. I just want to get this page as like a poster or something, because it is beautiful. I just love how that looks. Wonder Woman using the lasso to beat a bunch of Nazi zombies in like a weird corkscrew kind of fashion. That's just cool as shit. And it, she's wearing the soldier uniform, and it's explained why in the story, but I just think it's fucking awesome. I was a little iffy back and forth at points on the art in this, but when my biggest worry was for the action, but when there's action, it looks great. This Legend of Wonder Woman book, I'm adoring right now. I hope to see this continued in a second series whenever it finishes up, because I do really, really enjoy this. The main plot point that I will talk about is Wonder Woman finally tells Etta Candy what her whole backstory and everything is. And Etta encourages her to come out as Wonder Woman and be the hero kind of thing that everyone needs. And so Diana goes, okay, fine, I guess. And then we get, like, I could almost feel the chick music play as we get this great costume montage. I think it's funny that Morrison just did this same kind of thing, that Etta Candy and everybody, we get a dress-up costume montage from Etta Candy and Wonder Woman to get Wonder Woman's outfit. There are a couple gags in here that I really like. And for extra security, Diana Prince should develop a nasty case of cataracts or something. Believe me, you put on glasses and poof, no one recognizes you. I really like that. But then after Etta goes through all this stuff to try to get Wonder Woman a costume, she's like, oh, what am I... Or she goes, okay, I'm done. I think. Oh, what am I talking about? You look horrible. I tried to mix glitz with the duty of being a soldier and the iconic value of an American eagle. Why is Wonder Woman so difficult to figure out? You're supposed to be an icon to the Allied troops, a beacon of hope. You stand for America, yes, but also for the rest of the world. You strive for truth and justice. I really like that. This is a little bit of a meta commentary on Wonder Woman's shall we say, diverse history of costumes, especially over the last few years. So I thought that was a pretty fun commentary as Etta Candy tries to figure out Wonder Woman's outfit. But ultimately she finds the American flag from earlier in the book, and we're given just a tease, and it's... damn you! I want to know what her costume is. I think, here's speculation time, I think we're going to have the skirt. The lines... right there lead me to think it's a skirt. The just general how it seems to keep going make me think it's a skirt. We shall see. The funny thing about speculating is this is already out for other people, so there's really no point, but what can you do? Yeah, really, really good book. Really strong book. Great take on the character, and I'm excited to see how this story continues on. I think, yeah, this is a 9-issue series, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'm curious to see how this will go. It's been great so far. Etta Candy is hilarious. Steve Trevor is written so well in this. Great stuff. And one thing I really like is how they do her powers in this. They're never really clear on exactly how Wonder Woman's powers work. Like, sometimes Amazons are just naturally strong, but for some reason or another she's the strongest, even though she doesn't have the genetics to back that up. Sometimes being on the island makes you strong, but then again, why is she strong after she leaves? The Azarella thing, she's a child of the gods, makes more sense, but a lot of people don't like that for whatever reason. If you make her super powerful because of the clay birth of the gods thing, that works too, but that's not what people always do, because we're often shown the other Amazons able to keep up with her. This I really like. They do the Perseus thing, where the relics that she wears, the what are these called? The armbands that she wears give her some powers, and the tiara gives her another powers, and then she has on the boots of Hermes. That's what lets her fly, and I imagine that will maybe get the earrings, and she has the girdle of Zeus, or what did they call it? The belt of Zeus? Girdle of Zeus? Something like that. Yeah, the girdle of Zeus enhanced the might built by years of Diana's training. I really like that. So that's just a really cool way to do her powers. Actually have it be mystical item based. I really like that. Because it There are a number of reasons I prefer Wonder Woman's powers to be magical as opposed to biological or whatever. It gives her a different kind of strength than Superman for when they're working together on the Justice League. It also gives her an edge in battle on Superman since his powers are science based, hers are fantasy and magical based. It just works better that they should actually be able to beat each other, depending on the situation. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this. And we get the Duke of Deception some more. It'll be interesting to see how that all comes together. But yeah, good stuff. 2 great books this week. And then this. Wonder Woman, number 52. To be fair, I'm definitely getting the feeling that we are experiencing, what do you call it? Wrap-up syndrome, I guess, where everything has to be rushed to finish as quickly as possible. So all these plot threads that the Finches were working on kind of have to come to a close all at once, except for the one about Ares. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. So yeah, that's certainly disappointing. And the ending doesn't really make too much sense regardless. There's, so that's one problem with it. The other problem is the story itself isn't very good to begin with. I will give David Finch this. That's a really cool splash page of Wonder Woman. Oh, there we go. I really like that. That's a poster right there. It's just, there's so much going on in this, and Wonder Woman's kind of an idiot the whole time. She pretty much just believes whatever someone tells her, and that's it. And I don't like that. It worked at first. Like, that's been the problem with Finch's writing since they took over on the book. Was Wonder Woman was kind of just an idiot that attacked first and asked questions later, but it worked at the beginning because, at least conceivably, it was playing with the idea of, oh, well, you're the god of war now, and war follows you wherever you go, so you're gonna have problems dealing with this kind of thing now. I really like that. I don't know if maybe I was overinterpreting or giving too much credit, because that's not what... That never got paid off. It'll never be paid off. And I honestly am okay with that, because I don't want to read this Wonder Woman anymore now that they really took this down so far. And then there's a weird costume change. Like, just randomly in the issue. Seriously, it's like, okay, check this out. So here's Wonder Woman running to go fight Hera, because they cannot make up their mind about what they want Hera to be. And then we turn the page, and she's all God of War'd out, and she's got the skirt and the helmet and the fur cape. And that's weird. And also, what the hell is going on with Hera? She was a bad guy, she was a good guy, she was a bad guy, she was a good guy. Girl, I don't know. I'm so confused. Wonder Woman tries to save Zeke, but sacrifices herself doing so, and Zeke becomes Zeus, and brings Wonder Woman back from the dead because of her sacrifice. And then he and Hera go to rule Olympus again. Okay, I guess. Huh? Wasn't he kind of mad that... Let's see here. 2 pages? 3 pages? 4 pages? 4 pages before Hera almost killed him, She said, "Playtime's over, darling. I think we both know that all Olympus really needs is a queen." Um, no, apparently Zeus is just cool with that. Like, there's a kind of interesting, tragic moment here at the end with Wonder Woman, but really hoping that the Rebirth one just ignores all this new 52 stuff now, because I liked what Azzarello did quite a bit, but it lost its way once the Finches took over. I thought they were onto something. Maybe that was just luck or feeding off of something good. What can you do? Anyway, let's go ahead and talk a trade. Green Lantern Rebirth. I got a chance to read this last weekend. So let me first say, I think Ivan Reis, Ethan Van Sciver. Why do I always say Ivan Reis? I think Ethan Van Sciver is the first one to do this. I really like Green Lantern has this projected logo thing going on. I just love that done with Green Lantern stuff, and so it's cool to see in this. I think this is the first place we saw it. So anyway, Green Lantern Rebirth is pretty much the Green Lantern story that got everything going. And once again, Alan Moore takes credit for all of Jeff Johns' run. You would never know all of that just by reading this. It is one of the best wrap-ups and fixes for continuity. There's like a letter or an introduction at the beginning that talks about how easy it would have been to just kill off Kyle or have Hal be like a clone or drunk or whatever at the time, and how he didn't do that, how he did a lot of work and made it a love letter to all of Green Lantern, and I completely agree with that. That's what I really like about this book is it is bringing Green Lantern back in a really fascinating, really great, and respectful way. It's recognizing what was great about the old stories and also building on what was interesting and new about the Kyle Rayner stuff. And it did it all without having to cop out on what I think was still overall good storytelling with Emerald Twilight. Emerald Twilight, it was very insulting to the character if that's the only place you left him, but it was a really good character piece to work with Hal Jordan. And I really, really like that. Like, there's a moment in this where once Hal comes back and he's fighting Sinestro, if I can find it real quick. Ring power level at 99.4%. I don't hear any voices. Nothing inside screaming you cannot do this or telling me to go and find myself. No more soul-searching road trips. I'm Hal Jordan. Man, pilot, Green Lantern. I really like that. It's just, this is a love letter to Hal Jordan. It's a love letter to just all the great stuff about Green Lantern. And it's about bringing him back, and I really do like that. The story itself is really well, intricately plotted. Maybe it's a little overly complex, but fixing what he had to fix, I think there is no way around that. But all the little moments in this really do shine the brightest for me. See what I did there? Because it's Green Lantern. So Hal and Kyle take down Sinestro, and then they're about to go help fight Parallax. And Hal says, "Can't worry about that. We're not done. But first, let's do this right." And then we get Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner shaking hands as they really do meet for the first time. Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner. Thanks. I only wanted to help, which is why the ring picked you. I really like that. They just... Hal's just so cool with him. He just likes Kyle now. Because, yeah, he's, just did a great job. And even the stuff with the Justice League, like, I never really thought about the Justice League problems with this. Like, I'd never heard complaints like that before, but I have recently, because Steve has been going through the John's run too. I had heard those complaints recently, and reading on it, I think it works within the context of the story. The Justice League in this are being influenced by Parallax just as much as everyone else. Batman is naturally the most susceptible to that. That's why he's kind of the one that has the most problems the earliest on. He's the one that initially is suspecting Jordan of everything. And to be fair, the last time Batman and Hal Jordan had any interaction, it was when the friggin' universe was being rebuilt by Hal Jordan. And the hints that we get in this, the way it's set up, yeah, it does feel like that might be happening again from his perspective. But really what it all is everybody is feeling the influence of Parallax, and only the Guardian and the Green Lanterns are able to stop him because they're the ones with the power to do it. I really like that, and the action scene is just brilliant. This is a little thing, and I'm gonna point it out now as I go through the rest of these books, but like, what's up with the Guardians and always making like anal bead looking constructs? I don't understand why that's a thing that they always make. Like, it's really consistently done this way. It kind of cracks me up. There we go. Here's a panel of it. So you see all those little green orbs or whatever. Those are the constructs the Guardians always make. And I'll point it out all the time. They look like just giant Green Lantern construct anal beads. And I find that amusing. I asked on Twitter why that's always the case, and I think my favorite reply was, he gets really lonely out in space. And that's just canon now. But yeah, I don't know what else I really have to say about this book. I really like it. It's really well written. It's just cool stuff. My camera battery's also dying, so I should probably wrap up here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Green Lantern Rebirth. I love it to death, and I'm going to continue reading the rest of the Green Lantern stuff. Those I'll have more to say about. This one, it's like, what else can you say about Green Lantern Rebirth? It's Green Lantern Rebirth. It rocks. See ya.